What if you could offer your headshot clients even more with images that tell more about who they are, connect with their audience, and elevate their business? Brand photography might be your answer. In this video, I'm sharing what brand photography is and why you might choose it for your business. It took me a while to figure out my niche. When I started out as a photographer, I photographed everyone. I photographed babies, children, families. Portraits were thrown in there, seniors, and weddings. Like most new photographers, I was just trying to figure out my own path, find my own lane, right? And as the story goes, I happily made the decision to photograph weddings and decided that I would become known and build my brand as a wedding photographer. I did, however, continue to photograph portraits, and they were specifically women's portraits, and I did this in the background of my business. And in photographing the portraits, something started to happen, something that I noticed. Many of my clients, most of whom were business owners, they felt like they needed a bigger reason to justify booking a portrait session just for themselves. So I began to suggest, okay, let's do the fun portrait session for you at the beginning of the session, and then we can wrap it up with some new headshots for your business. And in taking these headshots, I started to ask them more questions about their business. And these were questions like, tell me about your target audience. Who do you want to attract to your business? What kind of content are you creating for your marketing? And through these conversations and listening to their responses, I identified a gap in what my clients really needed and a problem to solve. They needed more than a headshot. And it was at this time that I started to consider pivoting into brand photography, because not only was I enjoying photographing headshots for these business owners, but I was also really wanting to help and add value and solve this problem that I saw that they had. So what is brand photography? Brand photography is a genre of photography to create photos for small business owners, entrepreneurs, or people who have personal brands, so that they can have images that capture the essence of who they are and showcase that. Through brand photography, a small business owner can connect more to their clients by showing things like behind the scenes, their processes, their routines, what makes them different, the things they value, how they work, how it would feel to work with them, and as I mentioned, more of their personality and the energy and essence of who they are. So with all of that too, here are some reasons why brand photography is important. And I'll share a quick story with you. So back in the late 90s, oh my gosh, my very first career was as a realtor. And at that time, Facebook, Instagram, social media marketing, all the things that we have today didn't exist at that time. I didn't even have my own website. We had a company website, I think with everybody's photos kind of scattered around. If you did a search for a realtor, I would come up in that search. So all I needed was one photo for my business cards. And my company, they graciously supplied us with a photographer. We went out to their studio. You had a session, you got your photos taken, and you had your one photo. So I was all set. And while the principles of marketing haven't changed, the tools that we have for marketing, they have changed. And as a business owner, you need more than that one photo to connect, to market your business, to build trust, and for increasing your brand visibility. Brand photos help clients to do this, all of these things, right? And another thing that I discovered through the process of taking these headshots for my clients was that headshots capture their image, and brand photos could do a little bit more. It could tap into their essence. So things like, once again, going back to the personality, little quirks about them, what makes them different. Brand photos also helped my clients to show up authentically, to feel confident about their brand brand image, the image that they wanted to put out to connect with their audience, attract the right clients to their business, and then to have photos that they could use in all of their marketing. Having those brand assets was certainly important too. So why I chose brand photography? So for starters, being a wedding photographer, if you are a wedding photographer or you've assisted, you've seen a wedding photographer in action, it really takes a physical toll on your body. Of course, there's a mental component, but I loved photographing weddings, but that physical toll just really started to impact me, where it was taking me like a day, 2 days to recover. Oh my gosh. And as I mentioned, I was still photographing the women's portraits in the background. So when I saw this gap, it really made sense at that season in my life to start to make this pivot from weddings and to become a brand photographer. Going back to that gap that I identified and that problem that I could solve, I also understood deeply as a business owner that my clients wanted all the same things that I did as a business owner. And I saw that I could really serve my clients in this way and make an impact and help them to make an impact in their businesses. So what are some of the things that they want, that you want as a small business owner? You want to stand out. You want to attract the right clients. They wanted to have brand images that showcase their professionalism and to show off their personality. That was a direct quote from one of my clients and how her brand photos helped her in her business. They also wanted images to help them confidently show up and market their business. And in knowing all of these things, I wanted to take my business a step further in the studio to be able to provide more value and solve other problems that I saw popping up too. This was a moment when I started using what I had to make it work. I didn't have a big studio space at the time, but my vision was to style set designs. I wanted to solve a problem for clients who felt that they didn't have a nice office space or they didn't want to add cleaning their home for a photo shoot to the checklist. And also too, I didn't want to create a problem for myself in having to find locations and then creating options based around the weather. I'm in New England, so we get snow and all the kinds of weather, right? So I didn't want to create that problem for myself. So I imagined this vision of set designs that would include office setups and cozy living room sets and a kitchen set. And as I mentioned, I didn't have a big studio space, so I kind of had to MacGyver things. If you don't know who MacGyver is, he always found himself in these situations. It was a show back in the 80s, but he would always find himself in these different situations, and he had to use the tools that he had. So I MacGyvered things up. I started out using the makeup setup area that I had. I used part of the setup as a desk space to create that office set. And I also had a sofa in my in-person sales area, and I used that to create that cozy living space. And eventually, my vision of adding more value became a reality when I moved into my current studio space, which I'm filming in today, where I can create even more for my clients. Today, as part of my process, I'm still asking my clients some of those same questions that started this journey. How do they want to show up? Who they want to attract? I also ask, are they launching a new website, a book, a course, a product, or a new service? I also ask about their marketing. What does that look like for them? What platforms are they using to market and how often? And because I know that their photos have a big job to do, I really focus on making the experience fun and as relaxed as I can. I'll consult with them through all of the questions that I ask ahead of time. I provide them with wardrobe styling to make sure their outfits align with how they want to show up and the message they want their images to convey. I'll style the set design and give them posing guidance throughout the session. And this results in them leaving the studio with images that they love, they feel confident in, they're proud to use them for their marketing. And in the words of one of my clients, she said her photos immediately elevated her brand overnight. If all of these things resonate with you, I would absolutely want to add that it is a joy to be my client's guide, to be their creative director in helping them grow their business, attract the clients they're here to serve, and to have photos to show up and market their business with confidence. It is a lot of work. I'm not even going to say that it's not. But when you love what you do, you know this, you've heard this. When you love what you do and you see the impact that it makes in your client's life, it doesn't feel like work at all. I love what I do, and I'm so grateful for the clients that I get to work with. I hope this video was helpful in giving you some insights about what brand photography is, a little about my journey, and why you might choose brand photography for your business.